Hi Leo, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. Here's your ink blot made in your name and essence. If you want to take a screenshot, so you can scribe for shapes or symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. Leo, I'm going to read one perspective this week, add some scribes, tarot and oracle, as well your copper coin here for yes or no at the end, and we will revisit this rorschach later on in the month for another perspective. Thank you as always for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. Leo, let's go. If you would like to take a moment with me, relax, release the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. My lovely Leos, let's go. Seeing a frog. Yeah, luck. Feeling lucky, Leos. Lucky Leos. It's almost as if there's, how do I say? I don't know if you know how there's like closer, farther. You might be only looking with one eye, like one eye open. So perhaps before pursuing whatever it is that you're wanting or desiring, I feel like there's just something in the works. I can't necessarily see it at this point in time. It does look like a kindness. Make sure you have both eyes open. Look fully for whatever reason. Because luck is on your side moving towards it, and I don't mean to say but in a bad way. It's almost like I just want to not be blind to things along the way. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like love is blind, but just not to be blind. That's all. But there does feel like there's love around it. So you might be really looking for love and, oh, sorry, my foot is falling asleep. Some sort of love or kindness around it. It's like you can see the Leo energy sending out, what are those things called? Oy vey, what is it called? No, that's not the word at all. Oh my goodness. It's a gun, but it sends out, like, I'm here. I apologize. Sometimes my linear mind doesn't work in the liminal space. I'm sure. Anyway, hopefully you know what I'm saying. No, it's not like a flamethrower. It's, oh, okay. That's what it feels like in love. So if there's been anything that, or any Leos that have been like, no, I'm not really looking for love. I'm working on self-love and self-kindness. And that's my, the strength that I'm rebuilding and recalibrating. And I'll get to that in a second, because this doesn't have to be about traditional romantic love. It simply just could be a kindness to oneself. Or maybe it's loving what you do, re-inspiring your investment in your job, or seeing the self-service in that you are being of service. It was like shooting this thing up. If you are looking for love, just, both eyes open. I'm seeing a chair, the back of a chair. So there's like a king and queening up. King and queen chair. This is highly decorated with your strength, spinal strength. Spinal strength. It's like I can see your traditional lion standing up on its hind legs. Oh, okay. Excuse me. That's a good O. I'm wandering into some creative land here. It's like your chair. If you were in like a haunted mansion or something like that. Like, I don't know, pick a TV show, or a den or something like that. And if you like tilted something, then a door slides open. So this is what I feel like this chair is. Like, I pulled this chair out and this whole landscape opened up here. And I'm going to keep digging into it here, if you don't mind. Because it's like this sacral orange smoke. Could also be very sexual energy coming through, because then it grows these flowers. Kindness of love. Maybe you're looking for a kind relationship, a relationship within the self. But these flowers, from whatever, as I'm going to dig in here in a moment, they come up like submarines. And then that frog eye is looking. Yeah, that frog eye is looking around like that submarine-y thing. That submarine, again, I won't even try to, I can't even think of the other word still, so that's fine. You've been growing something. How can you feed others when your own table is empty? There's that chair. Fantastic. There's the chair. If you, oh, that card's not even supposed to be in there. Groundedness. Okay, we're going to take it. Groundedness, armadillo. Leos. If for some time you've been isolated individually, now maybe that's on purpose. You've been doing that for the self-care. You know, apply any fancy dancy words you'd like that validate that. Because you were empty. Maybe the relationship didn't work out and it depleted you. Maybe something happened and they siphoned you. Maybe your job was siphoning your energy. You changed careers and you're doing something that's, not what you quote unquote love. It's not your dream job, but it's about, you know what? I almost kind of want to detach. So I want to go and do the service. I want to stock shelves or do this, whatever the case may be. It's almost like those genius people that do, I'm going to use the term mindless, but I don't mean that in value. It's simply a task that is simplified. So someone who is healing or refilling their own supply isn't so invested in the holistic nature of it almost. That's a sidebar because it's still being of service, whatever this is. It's like, but I need this right now. This is the perfect job. This is the perfect whatever for me right now to refill in other spaces. I want to go and do good at it, but not be so, I want it to fill. Versus empty. And sometimes that's by detaching. It's like being a waitress and then going to the back of the kitchen and working in the back of the kitchen instead. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not about, sorry, my nose is so itchy in your reading. It's not about that it's a menial job or meaningless job. It's just changing what maybe others know of you, what you traditionally thought of yourself, and you're like, I'm just going to go to the back and I'm going to work on the dishes or dessert or clean. I just kind of want to be out of the limelight. Maybe that's it. I want to be out of the limelight. Because you're refilling. Or you've already refilled it because you have these light bulbs. Things have gone off along the way. You've restored. You know when you lose power and then it's like the power's restored. That's what it feels like. And then the power's restored. But before you jump out, because whatever you've been growing down here, essentially some form of liberation, but I feel like you've gone about it in really interesting ways, which is fascinating. Like the ways people wouldn't expect you to do. Even possibly in and of yourself. Oh, I love it. Okay, so the armadillo with the groundedness, and maybe that's what this other job, or it doesn't have to be a job, but it's some sort of task. Maybe it's something you added in. Like I'm going to go start gardening, or I'm going, something really boots to the mud. And I feel really bad that I said meaningless job because that's not it. there's a humble reward. There's a humbleness to humble my heart. I feel like I said humble a lot as well. Because then the sun comes up. And I can pull out this chair, and then this whole world comes out. The light bulb turns on. And 13th, I have liberated myself. I have closed out a cycle. Not only have I closed out a cycle, I am now integrating. So if as in the Leo aura energy, it's like, okay, I've restored, I've replenished, the power is back on. I am grounded in my light. There's a light bulb. I've been spending this time grounding myself, humbling myself even perhaps. Like maybe even somebody started doing charity work. Like you might be really rich and famous or in the limelight, but you're like, I need to get back down to earth, to other existences that are happening in and of around me, because you hold as your sign a particular strength. And it's like being of service to those other signs, those other placements, those other people, to help them stand up, on their own. Sending them a little love, and it can be humbling. So maybe you go and do charity work, or you go and do something purely to fill others, knowing you know what it's like to feel empty. All right, Leos, I'm going to keep going on here. Sorry. I feel like that was a whole thing, but there's a king and queen about it. It's like you're the king and queen. Your energies are holding both ends of this table setting. I'm still trying to think of that word up there. If you know it, maybe just comment below and ease my mind. Okay, so I've pulled out the chair, the light bulb has come on, and I'm going to wander down into this. And this is what I feel like is that charity work, where you've taken a job doing something that's like a part-time job that is completely outside of what you would normally do. You said about those genius people. I just need to do something so I can remember other things. There's a transformation going on here. Being brought back up towards the kindness and lucky and love. Boundaries. What else do we have here for Leos? And answers. Backed by willpower. Thank you. Solitude. Alone but not lonely. So some of you might have felt a little haunted at some point in time when you were in this low energy. But I feel like you turned it around. Or are in the midst of. So if here's your chair, that king or queen chair, I want to slide this card right in. Boundaries. Which also brings me into, oh, sorry, Leos. There we go. The armadillo, the weird card that was there for no reason, but for every reason. It's like at this table setting I'm at with the Leos in the aura, in this weird space that, like something opened up and I could visit, and I'm at this table setting. Gratitude. It's like if somebody built a chair, maybe they built it out of pine, whatever, I don't know. And you've now made it out of oak. And you have found through your own willpower of certain things and being of service, you were able to decorate it, maybe add some foam and some springs and some cushioning and some ornate. But it still didn't sit right. You're like, how am I in this space in my chair that I have built with these different energies and stuff? Something still wasn't fulfilled. So I go back down into all of this humility and healing. And I'm of service in a different way. And then I realize it's like something very fine. It's almost like I'm seeing salt and pepper on the table. Like, oh, flavor. Or, oh, silverware. You know what I mean? Like something else on the table setting. A tablecloth. And I get back to my roots, and somehow I get back to my roots. Why did I build this chair? The original chair. And I don't question it to challenge it necessarily. I'm questioning it to return to the spine of it. Okay. Because that's where even the willpower to do that self-reflection, I have like wispies all over me. Wispies. It feels freeing, but it's like you had to free yourself up to do that. So maybe you had like a very overwhelming position or a person in your life or a relationship, and it was just a very overwhelming, and you had to clear it out. You know, maybe you had to be single for a while or find a different job that wasn't so outwardly involved. And it's like by looking at the spine of it, you found answers. And this transformation, insert up here at the top of the chair, becomes part of the decoration. See all the kindness. Oops, there we go. Kindnesses. And I'm kind. And I'm kind. And now like padding has been added to the chair. And these fine details to not, oh, Leos, you're wonderful. Not only have you maybe shifted and changed the integrity of your chair. Maybe you've, again, this chair being very symbolic of whatever it may mean to you, relationship, corporate, creative. But I feel like you have a little bit of everything in it because you understand the interconnected nature of it all. To be of service to others can be very simple. Did I lose my other pen? Being of service, simplified, or perhaps even taking time to be nice to yourself. Anywho, so you fix this chair, or you design this chair, redesign this chair of your energy, where your energy resides, well, earthly. And now, Leos, you've also been working on, if not building, a whole table setting. So you're feeding others. Somebody really might be in charity work or in a service industry. Or it's your nature. But it's almost like maybe you were over-serving and you became empty, so you had to take a time out. Over-serving, like the waitress thing. You're like, I'm going to go back and just be a dishwasher for a little bit. I really enjoyed being a dishwasher when I worked in a kitchen. I loved it. Okay. Leos, getting ready to close out here before we do your coin. We have responsibility and horse freedom. And we also had liberation out here as well, from whatever of the spinal snakes that might have been all up in your kundalini, if I may. See, there's others. There's others with you. Leos, I know you have a superior strength energetically within your sign, but it's almost like depleting yourself to the point that you can't rest or recuperate or recover is not being of service. Yet your sign in general seems to have a responsibility, or maybe it's your position, or maybe it's your just energy of itself. If you're like a holistic worker, does understand it has a responsibility to be of service, but I feel like it can be simplified. Somebody's feeding people, whether it's a restaurant or you're working at a kitchen or you're making food for people. I don't know. There's something about feeding not only of yourself. And here's the other thing that I'm seeing in some space of the Leo. It's like, say you're making meals for the homeless or for children at school, right? If they have like a breakfast program, but then you also sit and eat with them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Tarantula connections. I admit a lot of this feels like if I'm down here, insert, and I'm down right about there. Coming out of, excuse me, some connections that were holding you back in and of yourself, like you were caught in a net. But it was a net of your own weaving. Like the chair, like maybe it was just too complicated. Or you needed more people and you weren't, maybe somebody wasn't willing to take on new staff, or there was something wasn't available. Anywho. But you're making new connections now because you're stepping out of a cycle and stepping into a new one that is of a way better balance and new connections. I feel like there might be some apologies or some I'm sorries. I don't know if they're coming towards you or you're offering them up at this table setting for some, or for those that maybe you had overutilized a connection, underutilized a connection, and there's some recognition of that, like under over of connection use. And maybe you'll be dishing out some apologies or receiving some apologies. And that also help start clearing the cords of it all. Apparently my throat's we need a beverage at this table. Or I already have a beverage, so thank you. All right, Leos. What an amazing journey. I'm going to grab your coin here. If you want to start thinking about your question, I have your sign's emblem as a yes. We'll call that heads. And the backing of the coin, the zodiac map, a no. Leos, think of your question. Relax. Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. And as we all know, that the reveal simply inspires the response that is the true answer. We have a no. Leos, we have a no. May that be of service. Thank you. All right, Leos, it's been my honor. Completely grateful. Like, share, subscribe. Links below to donate to PayPal or buy me a coffee or request your own rorschach in a reading. And until next time, and we'll flip it, I'll see you then.